Welcome to Veranda CA. So the next topic for revision is chapter 5 of strategic management, which is business level strategies. So having seen the corporate level strategies, we are into the next level in our pyramid, moving on to business level strategies. Yes, corporate level strategies. We have seen various strategies. Who are they? Why is it required? What is their course of action? Next comes down the line, we have the business level. Is it also required for the business level management, that is the middle level management, to frame strategies? Yes, it is required. The corporate team, the corporate level generally lays down a framework. If you see, they give you a framework, a picture, an outer border. This is going to be the objective, and this we are going to merge. We have merged for what purpose and all that, and how well are we going to utilize that in our business is what is dealt under the business level strategies. Example, the corporate level decides to stabilize, expand, yes, all those three strategies that we have studied, retrench, moving down, phasing it out. Now, the individual business requires their own strategies, right, in order to contribute to that growth level what they have, envisaged. So, to that stabilization principle, to that retrenchment, what steps can be taken. So, each business have to frame their own strategies, and that is dealt at this middle level, the business level strategies. Thus, business strategies are a course of action. A plan is there. Now I am deciding the modus of operandi, the course of action, which has been adopted by the organization for each of the businesses. I am into SBU 1, I am into SBU 2, that is strategic business unit 1, unit 2, business 1, business A, B, C. For each of it, I have a course of action. Yes, each business needs to competitively do it. In fact, there needs to be internal rivalry that is going to foster better growth when it comes to external rivalry. Okay, so in order to match with the external competition, internal rivalry will have to be ensured. So this brand of company A only is competing with another brand of company A only. So internal rivalry is also required. So that will help them to develop a competitive advantage in their chosen area of business. And business strategies aim to use the resources, skills, synergies to enhance its competitive advantage. So various resources has been allocated to this. Okay, you have been allotted so many resources. How am I going to use them to enhance the competitive advantage? For that, Michael Porter, had come about with a 5-force model. This we refer it as a competitive analysis. Okay, it's a 5-force model. The 5 forces that is operating in an environment are basically who are the people operating in an environment. We have suppliers, we have buyer, seller. These are the two major parties. But for a buyer and a seller, or who are the other parties concerned? We buy from manufacturer. Okay, that manufacturer, in order to produce the product, he needs a raw material from another supplier. So his price, his cost, his manufacturing process is affected by suppliers. On the other hand, he has customers. So if you take from the business point of view, a manufacturer is duty bound, or he is answerable, or he is he is dependent on a supplier, and he is also dependent on the customers, because they need to buy your products which is matching with in terms of quality, the latest technology being adopted, and as per their requirement. So a manufacturer is bound to suppliers, is bound to customers. There are these are the two powerful people to whom he is actually answerable. On the other hand, I am into this field for quite a long period, but there may be a new entry, a new competitor has entered into my field. So the threat of new entrance as in not entrance, it's entrance. So new manufacturers or new competitors who is also going to do the same product, going to be in the same production. So there is a threat of new entrance, and on the other hand, I have a threat of something else called as So I am producing a particular product, and this product may have other substitute suitable products. So why to use this? We can also use another substitute products instead of going for this. So manufacturer who's actually delivering the products as per the customer's requirement is faced by these powerful factors and threats outside. And when all these are there, there is a competitive rivalry. So he is fighting for competition. There is rivalry existing with others in the market. So Porter has given this view. The business level strategy is actually full and full defined by Michael Porter. The first being this 5 force model. Power of the customers. How can they influence my products, my buying? So if the customer has found another manufacturer, another seller offering at a lesser price, the customer may switch from me and go to him. So so powerful is their role. And a new entrant has come in, and this manufacturer is facing the pressure from suppliers. Suppliers decide the price. Higher price, your cost is going to be higher, profit may be lower, you may have to charge higher prices. And substitutes, there are other substitutes instead of doing. So instead of traveling by air flights price are so high, I can go by a third AC, I can go by a first class AC. So air and train are totally two different businesses, right? For a domestic or for an air flight, a bus or another mode of transportation is not their competitor, but they are substitutes. Prices so hiked up due to this festival season. I can very well comfortably go in a train, we feel, or by bus, so much of facility is offered by them. Okay, so that is the threat of substitutes. So his pricing or his strategy is to manage all these 5 forces. Okay, so let's quickly look on to the Porter's 5 force analysis to analyze the competition involved. So the first, as I said, threat of new entrants. I am into this field for quite a long period, and how this person has entered, how easy it is for another business to enter into my industry and take away my customers from me. Yeah, so how easily they can do it. That's a threat of new entrants. The threat of substitutes. As I said, are there any other similar products or services which my customers may switch to? Not your product, definitely, not your competitor, but then there is a substitute product which they will feel, instead of doing this, I can go in for that. Power of customers. So how powerful are your customers? Can they easily choose another business? Are you ensuring brand loyalty is there? Are you ensuring your products are the best? People recognize your brand, buy for your quality. So in that case, cover of customers are not so much. They may not go for other brands. But brand loyalty not there, they may switch to another brand easily. Suppliers. Suppliers decide the price, right? So if they are the only suppliers, they will charge high price. Many suppliers are there. If not you are selling to me at this price, I will go to another supplier. If the manufacturer says so, then their power is also lower. So the power of suppliers is another factor to analyze the business level strategy. And altogether, I have a competitive rivalry. Yeah, how many competitors will I have? Can they take away my customers? So a new entrance is a threat faced with regard to new people entering your industry. Already existing competitive rivalry are dealt over here. So let's analyze these 5 forces individually. Supplier, as I said, you have the power of suppliers. So we refer that as a bargaining power. So power of suppliers to drive up the prices is driven by number of suppliers. So a particular industry may have only few suppliers. For making aircrafts, aeroplanes, we have only a limited supplier. So there are chances he can hike up the prices to any extent, because the manufacturers of aircrafts and so, they need to buy from him only because there are no much suppliers. So a number of suppliers determine their power. Many suppliers, you can get it easily, he or the other. Uniqueness of the product. So if the quality is the determining factor, and if this particular supplier is only supplying to me at this particular quality, if I get it from another local person, maybe cheaper rate, but then this quality is not maintained, this uniqueness is not there. So the uniqueness of the product is also determines the supplier's bargaining power, the size, the strength of the supplier, if they are guided by a particular trade union, okay, how powerful it is, and the cost of switching from one supplier to another. So for example, you've been buying the units, raw materials from this particular supplier, and if you want to switch it to another person, it's a lengthy process, cost involved, time involved. So okay, better let's stick on to him. I've put up a bigger contract. So that is also another factor to decide. So if you can easily switch, the power of suppliers is lower. If you cannot easily switch, they have higher power. So this is one of the 5 force, suppliers bargaining power, which is determined by these many factors. Now I have on the other hand buyer. This business is also suffering from the customers. So the power of the buyers to drive prices is driven by a number of buyers. Yeah, my product, I have lot of buyers, or my product has only this particular community buys this, and what is the size of that community, what is the size, group, nature. So importance of each individual group buyer to the organization, and the cost to the buyer of switching from one supplier to another. Also, as I said, in suppliers, I can easily switch from, if he doesn't supply to me, I will buy from him. Also, customers will also have the same notion, right? If you are charging so much of price, I can move to another brand. For me, cost is important, or they may be sticking to you because of the quality you produce, so higher price may not be their concern. So quality matters or cost matters. So buyer's bargaining power dependent on the number, importance of the buyer, the switching cost, the importance of with regard to cost or quality, and competitive rivalry. So that is a rivalry among the competitors, which is driven by a number of competitors. So competitive rivalry among various competitors. I have A, B, C, so many firms, so many competitors in my business. Yeah, so competition is more. How do I analyze my industry? My industry is having lot of competition. If there are only 2 business in this particular industry, okay, competition is less, equal share you may generate or slightly higher. A lot of competition, people have much options to choose, right? They may not buy only your product, they have other options too. And the capability of the competitors, what is their capability, as in offering, he offers a slightly unique products. In the sense, he offers ready to make products. I offer only the basic ingredients. Okay, so some brands may offer only basic masalas, but the other brands may come about with instant making. You can just put it in hot boiling water, you will get paneer butter masala. But the other brand may be just in the supplying the masalas only, to you will have to make it. So some undifferentiated products that brand is able to make. Okay, so not only the number of competitors, how unique that other competitor is. So you will have to try to match in par with him. Okay, so that's the fact about competitive rivalry. So the more intense the rivalry is, the less attractive is the industry. Rivalry is high, peak. Okay, so then you don't find much of a difference between manufacturer A, B, C, and so on. Here the industry has no clear leader. Okay, so many people are there in the industry. Who's leader, who's working, no idea. Competitors in the industry are numerous. Okay, so many competitors and many industries, and that's why you have so much of competitors, and everybody operate at high fixed cost, huge exit barriers. So exit barriers, we are going to see whether to exit, is it easy or difficult. So to exit also it is very difficult, that is barriers. And there is little opportunity to differentiate their offerings. So it's how different can I offer? This product I cannot make much innovation to the product that I make. Okay, so if for example any mobiles, you can make much differentiation, different features. Okay, you can exploit much, but certain products you cannot. You can just give them as it is. You cannot make much differentiation. Maybe lighter. So that also the rivalry is more, very less attractive, and the industry faces slow or diminished growth in this stage. Okay, not everybody is competing at the same level, and the growth is not much. So, a number of factors affect rivalry. As I said, no clear leader, lot of fighters are there in the industry. So, if you take the domestic air travel industry, strong leader outlasts smaller rivals in a price war. So, anybody wanting to operate in this field, air travel, you know, it's very difficult because they are very small. Industry leader, the strong leader is only determining this industry. It's not so difficult for a small company to compete with these large firms. Number of competitors. Yes, I have a clear leader. Okay, but then it is not possible here because there are number of competitors in the industry. Handicrafts industry, if you take, okay, they may be having a particular union, society to organize the production of such products. But then, so many are into that production, how can you control them? So, high number of competitors, even if there is a leader, it is not possible to exert discipline. Pricing, some may be charging very less, not reaching out to the public, and some may be charging really high. Okay, so unorganized sectors like handicrafts face this issue. So this is again a rivalry causing issue. Fixed cost, higher fixed cost induces the firm to produce more to cover up the cost and utilize their excess capacity, which causes profitability to fall. So high fixed cost. So airline, if you see airline industry, telecommunication, high fixed cost, and what they can do, the profitability, that's why we pay so much. Yeah, so that they have to, the fixed cost they have to incur irrespective of the volume. So and that is added to the price, and we pay higher price, and they also suffer from lower profitability. Exit barriers, as I was telling you, to exit out of this industry it is so difficult. So when barriers to exit are made powerful, it would fight for its survival. So they have to anyways strive in this industry. They have to fight for their survival, and thus this intensifies competition. So these are the factors, we are discussing the factors that intensifies rivalry. Product differentiation, much differentiation you are not able to make. So profitability tends to be lower in industries offering undifferentiated products. ONGC, Indian Oil, okay, competitors, but what differentiation can they make? Okay, so major product differentiation they cannot offer, and therefore competition is high. If one of it is able to offer a different product, then they are in a much favorable position. Competition is not much. I am in a much higher position than you. But in a similarly fighting much no differentiation not possible, what is the profit they can earn? It may be equal, so they have to fight for their, to at least maintain that or to increase it at a marginal rate. Slow growth, all this will lead to slow growth of this particular industry. Industry will not take its huge peak easily. Now, so what is this point that we have been discussing? We have been discussing the power of suppliers, power of customers, and then the competitive rivalry existing in the market due to various factors and what is its impact we have seen. Now comes the substitutes. So substitutes, I gave you an example. So if I can, competition is the same product being dealt with the competitors. But here in substitutes, different products are dealt by the competitor, but then they are substitutes. If not this, I can also go for this. If not buyer A, buyer B. If not manufacturer A, manufacturer B, I can choose. They are offering similar products. That's power of competition. But substitute, it's manufacturer A is different and product or another product is supplied by another manufacturer, and that is also different. Okay, so why should I go for air travel? Okay, it saves time, but and then going to the airport and going after landing, going to the city takes much more time. I can very well go by train to Bangalore, I feel. Instead of flight travel, I will go for train travel. So that is a different market, different product, service, but then there is a threat involved, right? So air is facing the threat of railways also. So this reduces both the power of suppliers and the attractiveness of the market. Wherever substantial investment in R&D is taking place, threats and substitute products can be expected. So they are investing more on research, developing the products. So substitute products are easily. So people are always invested in life-saving bonds, so on. But now investment is not just you can make in LICs or so. You can also invest in mutual funds, bonds, real estate, gold, so on. So there are various options for me. Is real estate and LIC are the same, but then LIC is facing the threat of real estate. Okay, so that is the different area, but then the motive here is the same. So people, instead of investing in LIC, they may go for real estate. So real estate also may feel the same. So that's the threat of substitute. Substitute products offer a price advantage or performance improvement to the customers, and thus this increases the competitive rivalry. Okay, so now we have two options when it comes to education. So there is still an option where we can go for online or we can go for offline mode of education. So those who feel it is at my convenience, I am at a place where there is no proper physical mode of class, so I go for online. So substitute products are available, so it's always a threat. Now threat of new people entering my industry. Okay, competitive rivalry is also there. The threat, new entries entering into my market is so open enough that anybody can enter my industry. Okay, because it requires not much investment, so others can easily invest. So food industry, if you take, there is so much of competition as such, and new entrants are into the market. So food is further classified into, where you have a physical shop, okay, or it may be a delivery, homemade delivery, or it may be an fast food, okay, eat and takeaways. So there are so many entries in this industry. So profitable markets attract new entrants, which erodes profitability. So when there is easy to eat and take away, those who've been operating in the traditional system will be facing a threat of this. So new entrants with their extra capacity, new range of products, services will bring new competitive pressures. So the bigger the new entrant, the more severe the competition effect would be. So therefore, to discourage the new entrants, barriers to entry are created, which includes, so you don't want people to enter your business. So we have seen exit barriers. So there are also entry barriers. How can people not enter your business? Funding. I cannot easily operate a air travel, right? I cannot be owning a domestic flight easily, because huge amount of funding is required to enter into this business. And another thing is economies of scale. The higher you've been into this line, you've been producing more, so the per unit cost is reduced. Okay, so you are making use of the economies of scale. But for a new entry, he will be facing that level of fixed cost which is mandatory. So for him, the cost is high only, profit will be lower, he cannot charge higher prices too. Why should I go for this new brand? This price is much lower here in this brand, we feel. Okay, so economies of scale is another deterring factor for a new entry. Product differentiation. Product differentiation, I mean, this new entry, he doesn't offer anything. If he's offering anything different, then there is a issue. Okay, so if you are already offering a unique product, fine. Switching cost. So we are going to see this switching cost, moving from this to another, how much cost is going to be involved. Brand identity, access to distribution channels, and aggressive retaliation. So let's see these entry barriers in detail. Okay, when I say capital requirement, it is difficult to start an airline industry, so it is not possible to start an airline industry very easily. So much of funds are required. So anybody will be reluctant to enter this field. Economies of scale, you've been into this field for a longer period, your per unit cost is low, you will flourish. When a new person enters, he will find it difficult. So that's a important entry barrier. So he will be saying, okay, let me not enter. Example, IBM, okay, so Samsung. Because they've been into this field for a longer period, their economies of scale is much high. So in terms of producing the microprocessors, chips, etc. For a new company, it is difficult to achieve at the same price. Product differentiation. Okay, how refers to the differences, different products, how unique products you're going to offer, okay, in the eyes of the customer. So generally this is done in personal care and cosmetic industries. Brand identity. Okay, so this brand has been known. I know this brand for quite long period. I'll go for this brand only. So by the existing firm, they serve as another entry barrier. So new entrants find it difficult to will get this brand identity. It will take a much more longer period for the new person. So that's another deterring factor for him. So now we had Maruti Suzuki doing very well. Then when Toyota, Honda all came into foreign brands, not Indian brands, then what they had to do to beat Maruti Suzuki, the local brand, they had to spend much on advertising, promotion, and so on. So to create that brand identity, I may have to take more steps for the new entry. Okay, if your brand is well famous, entry barrier is just set right away. Switching cost. So another important factor is the switching cost. So especially in this technical aspect, technical products, the switching cost is high. So for example, if I have to remove my internet connection, they say that it will take some time, it will involve some cost, okay, a lot of procedures are there. So we say, okay, let me retain this internet only. Why should I actually change from this DTH to another DTH, from this brand to another brand? So to move from ACT to Airtel, I feel it is better, let me retain this only. It's just a one-off process, but then we are so reluctant to undergo that process. Okay, cost involvement, psychologically also a lot of wastage of time is involved. So this is the cost. Switching cost refers to cost not only financially but psychological cost also for a customer to switch from their existing product to a new product. So if you want to change from Microsoft Windows to any other operating system, huge amount of switching cost is there. So you say, very well, let me be with this only. That is another entry barrier. Distribution channels. So those who have been there in this business for quite some period, they have better distribution channels. What are distribution channels? Whether I am going to sell it directly to the customers, or through retailers, or through wholesalers who will turn sell to retailers, customers, and so on. So, but those who have been in the business for a long period, they have better distribution channels. Okay, so they have they know the wholesalers, they know the retailers, customers, what is good, which method to adopt, so on, very easily. That's fine. But new person entering will not have such a better efficient distribution channel. So HUL, PNG, Godrej all have better channels. They know how to route their product to reach the customer. But the new entry will have faced this difficulty. So these are some of the barriers to entry, which also includes counter attack. So if I enter, what will my already existing competitor will react? So we all very well know Patanjali products, which is quite famous due to their franchisee distribution and people moving towards a trend of herbal products, Ayurvedic products. So people prefer all Patanjali products. But all these while HUL was doing cosmetics business, they were into other products, Palmolive. So they are facing this threat of this Patanjali entering their products. So what they are doing in order to reinstate their brand, to know people, make aware by our products, they will spend again on promotional activities, advertisements, and so on. So what is the counter attack or the retaliation act done by the existing players? Okay, so these are the exit barriers entry barriers you can adopt in order to face this threat, face a new entry. In order to face this new entrant, you can adopt any of these entry barriers. Do a possible counter attack. Okay, switching cost, keep it at high. Another factor is ensure you produce different products, differentiated ones. So all these are entry barriers. So these are the 5 forces having discussed. Just to list it down: power of consumers or power of customers, power of suppliers, competitive rivalry, threat of substitutes, and threat of new entrants. 5-force model, which was designed by Porter. and why, what are the benefits, why was it designed, to understand the factors affecting profitability in a specific industry. Okay, we need to know, I want to get into food industry, but if I get into food industry, I need to analyze these 5 factors, is what has been suggested by Porter. Okay, so when you are entering any field, do these 5 analysis, analyze these 5 elements, know who your competitors are, know who your suppliers are, what are the competition that you would face, threats, substitutes, then enter the market. Any industry for that matter, analyze these 5 factors, he says, then enter the market. Then you will get a better idea as to what strategy to follow and how to follow. So thus, business level strategy is concerned with issues such as satisfying the customer's needs or wants so that you achieve the goals, so that you achieve returns which is much above the average ones, or taking detailed actions to provide value to customers and gain a competitive advantage by exploiting the core competency in specific individual products, and you're going to position your firm in an industry relative to competitors and to the 5 forces of competition which has been discussed. What is it concerned of? Satisfying the customer's needs by achieving more returns. His needs are also satisfied, I also achieve more returns. Planning out a detailed course of action to be taken or to be provided to the customers so that I have a better competitive advantage, edge over the others. Now I am fixing my business in that position in the industry, in a place in an industry, competition with the others, and after considering the 5 forces of competition as suggested by Michael Porter. So customers are the foundation of an organization. So business recognizes this very aspect. You need to focus on your customers is what the business level strategy says, and Michael Porter emphasizes this. So you have to meet the needs of the key customers, achieve advantage over your competitors, and avoid any competitive disadvantage. So Michael Porter suggests another 2 more business level strategies, which are Michael Porter's generic strategies, or the other one being best cost provider strategy. So he was the same person who did the 5 force model analysis under business level strategy. That is, before entering a business, do the 5 force analysis to know the competition prevailing in the industry. Further, frame a business level strategy. So the business level strategies is further classified into generic, best cost provider. Now, generic strategy can either be a cost differentiation or a best cost will be a focus. So let's see them. What are the basic generic strategies? Strategies allow organization to gain competitive advantage from 3 different bases. So it may be a cost, it may be a differentiate product, or it may be a focused group. Okay. So these 3 are the further 3 classification, and Porter has called them to be base generic strategies. Okay, base generic strategies, focus, differentiation, and cost. Because why have they been termed so? These are the basic strategies which any organization needs to adopt, not only for commercial, not only for large sized firms, irrespective of the size, irrespective of the motive, any commercial, non-profit, profit-making organizations can adopt these strategies, and that is why it is called as base generic strategies. Okay, so let's see them. Under that we saw focus. When I say focus, what is that? What is my area of focus? Who am I targeting? Particular group or particular society, we generally refer it as a niche segment. Okay, I target the poor, or I target high-end customers, I target budgeted people, okay, or I target special needing people with special needs. Okay, that's a focus that fulfill the needs of smaller group of consumers. Okay, my product may not be generally applicable to all. Differentiation, for example, in the focus, for example, I am producing wheelchairs. So wheelchairs is not for every individual. I am a producer of wheelchairs. It is applicable for those who need it, physically handicapped people. So that's a focus, smaller group. Differentiation, I am trying to bring about a different product line to my, I am trying to bring out an unique feature to my product. Okay, considered unique, industry-wide and directed at consumers who are relatively price insensitive. What happens when it is a different product? I want an air conditioner, maybe okay, a normal thing, but I want an air conditioner which kills mosquitoes. You know, there are many specifications that comes when you buy AC too. So it's a different product and unique product, and it says, they say easily it is up by 5,000 rupees than the normal price. Okay, you are okay to buy for it. Okay, we are okay to buy. So we buy beds. Bed is a common normal price, but then we buy beds. We can be adjusted. It can be raised, lowered by way of a remote. So that's a different product. But when people are ready to buy that at a higher price too, for those suitable for those who are price insensitive, you go for differentiable or unique products. The cost leadership, no differentiation required. I want the product but at a very cheap price only. So the cost per unit for consumers who are very price conscious, the cost leadership strategy, the third base generic strategy as suggested by Porter. So let's see them by way of a chart first. So when I target a broad group or I target a small group. When I target a small group, it is definitely focus strategy. Okay, I am targeting a small group or a narrow group. As I said, wheelchair only for physically handicapped. So that's a focus strategy. At the same time, it can be low cost focus strategy or a differentiable focus strategy. When I say differentiable, it will be highly priced. For example, normal wheelchair, physically handicapped people, low cost. But then the wheelchair comes with a remote. You can automatically adjust it. Okay, it can be folded, bended, everything. So that's some high-end features are added. So that is the differentiation you are making to a normal wheelchair. So that comes under the focus strategy but differentiated. Targeting narrow segment. Other two strategies, cost and differentiation, will be for a broader category. Okay, so broad for the industry as a whole. Amazon, Flipkart, we buy products from here. It is accessible to every individual. Okay, broad industry wide but low cost. Unique, again applicable for entire industry, but then the prices will be higher, but different products, customized products. So this is what the advantage of low cost or uniqueness and the target based, classified based on the target group, whether it is broad or narrow. So let's see the strategy one by one. The cost leadership strategy. Here it brings cost leadership. Cost, when I say, not the cost that the consumer, the customer pays for the product. Oh, I pay 100, if I buy from him, I pay only 80 rupees, not that price, but the cost from the business angle. The cost of making this product for manufacturer A was only 80, but the cost for manufacturing by manufacturer B for the same kind of product is just 60 rupees. So the cost is a matter of concern not from the consumer's point of view, but from the business point of view. Okay, so you are a leader in the industry when it comes to low cost. In terms of low cost production, you've been the leader. So here the strategic position serves any one of the two purposes. Higher profit margins, products are given at a particular price, but you are earning higher profit, or it allows for an overall lower price to the customers, which can be used to increase the market share. In other words, okay, by being at this stage, the cost leadership strategy, which is the business has adopted, you can lower the price, give the product to the customers at a very low price. Okay, but low price, high customers. So when Kevin Care introduced the shampoos, 1 rupee sachet shampoos, very low cost. Even budgeted group people would buy. Even the very lower level category of people would buy. Okay, middle class people for an emergency would buy. Bachelors, those who stay alone will buy those 1 rupee sachets. So it's a very low cost. Okay, but my market share for that particular sachet has been highest. So that's a low cost, overall lower price, but increasing market share. or I give it a normal price only. Others are buying at a particular, other products are traded at that level, my products are also at that level, but then that it goes also, that also increases my profit margin. So it serves any of these two profits. Ultimately, by being a cost leader. What is a cost leader? By producing the products at a very low cost, I'm the leader in the industry. Okay, by being a cost leader, I earn profits or I earn market share. Okay, both are, either one of this is possible to achieve. In order to employ this strategic approach, you must be able to establish and maintain a lower cost structure than any competitor. So for me, my cost is 60. For him, the cost is 80. What I adopt? Either he is selling at 90 rupees, I will also sell it at 85 rupees, 82 rupees. So comparatively, people may not buy from him, but they may buy from me. So 60 to 82, I am earning more profits than him. That is one strategy. Or I may sell the product at 65 or 70. Okay, so my profit margin is only 5 rupees or 10 rupees. But then many people will buy my products, right? So those who are just saying, oh, 8 rupees difference only, no, let me buy this product. Those who've been thinking that way, many people will shift from that perspective to my perspective to buy my products, which is because there's phenomenal difference, 25 rupees difference. So lower profit margin but high share, or lower, higher, say almost moderate price with them, but then increase your profit. So 22 rupees increase or a 5 rupees increase into a lot of buyers. So this lower cost strategy will be adopted. And how do I do this? So in order to get the 60 rupees cost per unit, when everybody is able to produce it at 80, how can I produce at 60 unless I fit in very cheap products, materials into it. So in order to ensure material is also good, quality is also not affected, I need to deploy some other methods. For example, you can outsource. So establishing a factory and undertaking those essential steps, depreciation and other fixed cost elements, instead of doing that, you can outsource the manufacturing or some intermediate jobs to another person. Okay, for them only that job work charges will have to be paid. Either you can supply the raw material, or even if it is bought by them, it will be not much at a higher price. So outsourcing is a common way of lowering the cost. Yes, and to achieve this cost leadership, the following are the actions that could be taken. Forecast the demand for the product at a much higher, at a much ahead of time and very accurately. What is the demand? If I do this, will people be ready to buy? So as I said, 1 rupee sachet packets shampoos, there are many buyers. So people would have thought, why to buy such a big bottle of shampoo when I don't require it? 1 rupee sachet I can use for two times. Yeah, and it's easy to dispose, easy to buy, lower cost. So you need to assess the market, whether people are ready to buy, what is their requirement, and optimum utilization of the resources to get the cost advantage. Yes, to price it at such a lower price, you need to optimally utilize the resources. Then you will be able to achieve the economies of scale, lower cost, which leads to lower per unit of cost. Standardization of products for mass production to yield. So not that one product will be manufactured another way, one product will be made at another way. No, if you adopt different methodologies, then you will not be able to be a low cost leader. To be a low cost leader, all the products need to be massively produced in the same way. Okay, so you cannot bring about differentiation when you are a low cost leader. Differentiation is not possible. It will be a standard product. You cannot expect much customization to it. So invest in cost saving technologies, advanced updation, technology upgradation, and differentiation. As I said, it is difficult. Low cost leader, focus possible. Focus low cost products are possible. Focused and low cost broad market, low cost narrow market is possible, as I said, but low cost and differentiation will not get along each other. So that's about cost leadership, and the advantages are many when it comes to rivalry. Yeah, So others are also, how is he able to sell at 65, 70 or 80 when mine is 90? So let me also bring down the price, they may also feel. But if they bring down the price, they may be incurring losses. Their internal, okay, people buy their products, but then per unit profit is lowered. They may not be, you are producing at 60, so you are able to enjoy the profit margin, but they may not be, it may not be possible for them. So rivalry, competition, price war they will run away. They will not be able to make profits. Buyers, customers would not be able to exploit the cost leader firms and will continue to buy the products. Whoever it may be, I am able to buy from him because the product is also priced at a low range, so I can buy his product. Suppliers, in terms of suppliers, the advantage is you are able to absorb greater price increase before raising the price. Okay, so you are able to influence the suppliers. Entrance, so the low cost leaders create barriers to entry. You are in the market for a longer period, so you are using economies of scale. More production, lower cost. So my cost per ultimately is lowered. New entrants, no economies of scale. They cannot compete with you. They don't know what is that you have employed. They don't have much expertise, knowledge on what factors have gone into such low cost production. So that is a very good entry barrier. Substitutes. Low cost leaders are more likely to lower cost to induce customers to stay with their product. Even if there are substitutes, those who like your low cost will be with you only. Yeah, so these are the various advantages of cost leadership strategy. Disadvantages, no, in the long run, it may not be possible, it may be difficult to continue this phase. And higher sales volume only, I will be able to achieve greater profits. Low cost is also low and people buying them is also low, means ultimately I will either be at the same level or very lower, comparatively lower level only. Only if when I am offering at 65 and 70, more people buy my product, then I will have a better share. So that is dependent on the sales volume. Yes, so cost leaders tend to keep their cost low by minimizing. They cannot spend much on advertising, market, all these are very costly. So you will have to add up to the 65 price and you will end up reaching at 90 price ultimately. So they should not minimize all the promotional activities. Technological upgradation you cannot much do. Okay, if you add on all that, your prices will rise. So these are the limitations which it suffers. So business strategies, base generic strategies under business level strategies, we've seen the cost leadership strategy. The other one is the differentiation strategy. It is the tactic. How am I supplying unique products to my customers who require such customized products? So we all require customized products, no? Build a house, we don't say. We want such interior decorators to consult with us. We want this, we want as per Vastu, and then we also want many other requirements, as in, a kids play area or a kids area, kids room, and then room for elders, a duplex. So many requirements will be there. So that's a differentiation strategy, not just 4 walls be built. We all don't prefer that anymore when it comes to housing. Similarly, every service suffers this issue of differentiation. People like customized products, but then it is very costly. Yeah, okay. People learn, and when they are ready to buy, when they are ready for that look of it, they go for higher prices. They are price insensitive people, we say. Price high or low doesn't matter to me. More high price, I'm okay to pay, but the look is important. The customized effect is important for me. So to employ this strategy, your business will have to find unique qualities about its products or service that can set it apart from the other providers in the market. So in-depth analysis of its own product as well as understanding of all the available products it is required. So this is available. This model provides so many features. The other model provides so many features. Now how I can differentiate my product? That you will have to focus here. Okay, how can I differentiate the product? So noodles was initially very famous, but then when Nestle came about with 2 minutes noodles, some other company came about with the soupy noodles with vegetables added, and all those were some of the differentiable features which got added to its product. Okay, so examples are product in terms of speed, strength, quality, durability, lasting long, appearance, look, ease of use. You can use it at your convenience, not much complicated. Brand, luxury goods. I can buy watches for just seeing time. I can buy anything. Now, in fact, that is also not required. Just go by with mobile phones. But people are there who wants Rolex phones. Sorry, Rolex watches. Why? The brand image. People are ready to buy for the unique feature it has. Watch lovers prefer to have high quality watches. Innovation. You innovate something very newly. Operational efficiency and warranty, guarantee. All this, when you get added, the price will increase. No warranty sir, no guarantee sir means low cost. When all these are added, given to you, differentiator, higher cost. And people are okay, I want warranty. What if it is getting repaired the next day, next year itself? So people want that means higher price, differentiable feature. So on what basis are the products differentiated? Yeah, on certain basis for differentiation are product, pricing and organization. So innovative products, so differentiation is brought about with regard to products. As I said, different features, high-end models. Apple, it's a product differentiator. Apple technology is not used by any other mobiles. Okay, so that way they are gaining advantage over its competitors. They have spent so much on R&D and that all that cost is added on to the product. That's why he's a differentiator. Another basis for differentiation is by way of pricing. Okay, and also be influenced by the customer's ideal value for the product. So lowest price or highest price, like he is offering at a lower price or a higher price. So that's another basis for differentiation. And then the organization. So maximizing the power of a brand or using specific advantages. So my organization is located here. Okay, so by way of which you are able to make about a differentiation. Okay, location advantage, name recognition. This organization is much known. Customer brand loyalty, customer loyalty are the ways for a company to differentiate itself from the competitors. Okay. So organization matters, product matters, pricing matters. So these are the factors that go in for achieving differentiation strategies. What are the factors that need to be incorporated while for achieving this differentiation strategy is offer utility for the customers, okay, utility products which serves their purpose, elevate the performance, high quality products. So they definitely want good quality. They are paying you so much and you are supplying at a very low prices is of no use. So offer quality, good quality products, innovate, enhance image and its brand value, and fixing product pricing based on the unique features. So this feature is added, so accordingly price your products to that level. Okay, this is how you can bring about differentiation. These are the steps you need to take. Advantages, again with respect to rivalry, people buy your products for the brand. So you can withstand competition. Okay, so brand loyalty withstands competition, and buyers, when it comes to another 5-4 sir, the buyers, no, they buy your product. They don't mind much about the competition, the prices involved. They buy your product at whatever the prices is. They don't negotiate. Rolex watch cannot be negotiated, but a local watch can be negotiated. So that's there. Suppliers, because differentiators charge a premium price. Okay, so also their suppliers know that, and they also can afford to absorb the higher cost of suppliers, and customers are willing to pay that extra part too. So suppliers are also in higher demand, and even when customers are ready to pay so much, you can all cover up all the cost. I'm talking from the business point of view. So entrance, the other 5-force model, the entrance. You are a differentiator. The new entrant will have to find out why is it so expensive and what is that innovative feature you have brought about. So they will, for them as such, brand loyalty they don't have, new entry, and then to attract the market they find it very difficult. So substitutes are also not possible. Substitutes in a differentiator strategy, the threat of substitutes cannot be seen much high, because customers buy your product for the different unique feature that you have providing. Then why they want to go to another substitutable product? So this is how it is achieved. Disadvantages: I am providing customized product, yes, but in the long run it is difficult to sustain. Charging too high a price may cause the customers, oh, he's always been charging very high. Let me switch from him to another supplier, we would feel. Okay, so differentiation fails to work if the basis is something that is not valued by the customers. So long run basis it is quite difficult. Then we have the focus strategy. So as I said, this caters to the niche market, a small market segment, wheelchair for the specially handicapped, or it may be differentiable with remote handling. And I said Rolls Royce. Okay, again, not for all. They are not into cost leadership strategy. It's a focus strategy only for selected group. Okay, niche group we say. So focus strategy involves concentrated efforts on the customers who have great unique needs or wants. That's as a niche market we refer to this as. Here the focus allows a business to either produce a given product at a lower cost or to produce a product or service with unique feature or characteristics that meets the needs of this focus market. Okay, lower cost. So sports car, Ferrari has introduced. Okay, so it's a focus strategy for a particular group. Cost leadership can also be achieved at a lower cost. So focus cost leadership strategy requires competing based on prices to target a narrow market, small market. So at a lower cost, that allows for creating a cost advantage for the customers in the niche market. On the other hand, I have focus differentiation. So I am offering entirely a different unique product, but again to a local group. Okay, so you need to select, how do I bring about this focus differentiation strategies? I need to select a specific niche which is in which it is operating and not covered by the cost leaders and differentiators. You need to create superior skills to cater to that niche market, that small focused market, high efficiency. Here small market but differentiable products. Okay, not to the entire market, differentiable products. So that's different. So focus strategy, small markets. So the advantages is you're charging higher premium, so you're going to get back the cost involved for that. And due to tremendous expertise about the goods and services that are offered by the organization, focus strategy, following the strategy, the rivals and the new entries will find it very difficult to compete with you. Small market, differentiator also. So it is difficult for the new competitors to definitely fight with you. Disadvantage: the firms lacking in these competencies may not be able to pursue. Okay, I cannot adhere to the demanding requirement, very narrow segment, profitability is low, then cost is high, then it is difficult. So that's a major disadvantage in this focused differentiable strategy. Okay, and this will, in the long run, there are higher possibilities that it is not possible to achieve at all. So to face competition, it is very difficult. Then the other strategy that was provided by Michael Porter, apart from the base generic strategy, is the best cost provider strategy. When I say best cost, what does it come to your mind? Best cost that the customers can afford to buy. So it is a very low cost products. Low cost, not low quality, but it is a low cost products. It's a further development to the generic strategy. Here there is a value for the money that customer places to you. So there are many people, many customers who want to buy at a low cost only. They are very conscious about the amount they have spent for this particular product. So offering lower cost product is the main crux on this best cost provider strategy. Okay, for very consciously paying buyers. Okay, value conscious buyers we can say them as. So how do I do? Combine a strategic emphasis on low cost with a strategic emphasis on differentiation. Okay, so make an upscale product at a low cost. So keeping the cost factor in mind, you can relatively make a differentiable products. Okay, and give customers a value. So there will be a group of people. Okay, so we have seen various clusters of people. Those who prefer low cost, no differentiation is required. Those who want customized differentiable products are ready to pay any higher amount of price. But this best cost strategy is somewhere fitted in between. I want low cost, but I also want a differentiable product. So most of us belong to this modern group, young generation belong to this category. Low cost but a differentiable product. So it is somewhere you lie in between. How can I buy a product with unique features but also at a lower cost? So in that case, we go with best cost provider strategy. So business needs to understand that there are such customers and they need to bring about some innovation in their product, differentiation, but at a lower cost. Okay. So here the objective is to keep the cost lower than the other sellers, and to do this they need to bring about some extra features to their product, okay, and comparatively prices are also lower, not very highly priced. So this is the type of competitive advantage in a low cost strategy. If you can see this best cost provider, the other four we all know, for a broader market or a narrow market, we know the cost leader. It can be a focused low cost leader or a cost leader, and in a narrow market it is a focused differentiation or a broad determination if it is a broad market, and this best cost provider fits somewhere in between. He wants low cost and he also wants a differentiable product, a unique feature product, customized product, so he will look for this. So business needs to identify their needs and bring about some innovation also at a lower cost. So thus the business level strategies which we have seen is all framed by Michael Porter, starting with the industry analysis, the 5 forces, and then majorly the 5 forces, and then we moved on to the 2 other strategies, base level strategies and generic strategies. Thank you.